Well, a very good morning and thank you very much for joining us on GBS Morning Extra. Today is Monday and we are glad that you are here with us. And if you'd like to give us any comments, suggestions or opinion during our program, you can send us an SMS on 21144. You can also send us our an email on info@gbskenya.com. Our hashtag is GBS Morning Extra, and our YouTube and our Twitter handle is @KenyaGBS. Now, we start off this morning in Kisumu County, where a family in Kisumu is in distress after alleged abductors took a 5-year-old boy from the home and is now demanding for ransom. The family, which hails from Kisumu Rural in Holo, says that the abductors are demanding 100,000 Kenya shillings to return the baby, a money that they say they do not have.
Majina naitwa Irina Kot Juma. Mimi ni mwana wa Juma wa kwanza kwa wasichana. Mtoto wetu ambaye tunamtangaza saa hii anaitwa Faithshani Awino Juma. Alipotea siku ya Jumatano on Tuesday. Yeah. The baby was at home with a fellow kid when the abductor sent mtoto wa jirani aenda amchukue. Sasa watoto wakaenda kwake. Kwenda kwa jirani wakaambiwa waende huko Holo Market. Kwenda huko Holo Market, kijana wetu wa kwanza, huyo ambaye mtoto anamfuata, ni huyu hapa. Walienda huko Holo Market, huyu akaachwa kwa kinyozi na yule huyu mwingine. Okay. Wote wawili wakaachwa kwa kinyozi. Huyu akinyolewa. Huyo mtu akaomba mtu wa kinyozi amsaidie shilingi 400. Kwanza aliomba change 1000. Akaambiwa hakuna change. Akaomba saidiwe shilingi 400 aende anunulie mtoto mdogo ambaye tunamtangaza saa hii. Aende amnunulie dawa. Venye alipewa pesa akaondoka. Hadi wa leo hajaonekana na mtoto. Anatupigia simu akitutisha anataka kuumua mtoto. Sasa tunaomba tu serikali. Tumeripoti kesi huko Maseno. Kesi iko kwa Maseno, lakini wanafanya uchunguzi. Hatuwezi sema eti hawafanyi, lakini hao pia wanatusaidia. We are just asking the Kenya government with anybody else. The people are requesting for 100,000 Kenyan money. We cannot afford it. This is our home. I'm the second born in a family of 5. He started calling on Thursday. That's at around 11 a.m. when we were at Maseno. We gave out the number to the DCIO, who is looking after the baby now. So from there, he was sending the messages till at around 3:30 p.m. So he left sending the messages by saying, if you are not willing to pick your baby by sending us the money, we are going to kill your baby. It is really painful.
Quite an unfortunate situation there. We come back now to Kajiado County, where the Deputy President, William Ruto, while addressing youth in Kajiado County, promised that the government will give 30,000 Kenya shillings to everyone who graduates or qualifies through technical colleges that have been set up by the government to help them set up their own small businesses in the diverse skills that they have acquired. Ruto said that this is the only way that the vision of the Big Four agenda can be realized.
Tumejenga technical training college hapa Kajiado West, Bwana Manje vile iko katika taratibu hiyo. And of the 5 constituencies, we will have a technical training college in every constituency in Kajiado County. Mimi nataka niwaulize vijana wa hapa Kiserian, na vijana wa Kajiado West, na vijana wa Kajiado North, mko na nafasi sasa ya kusomea ufundi na teknolojia. Mpango wa Big Four ya agro-processing, value addition, manufacturing, program yote ya housing. Tunahitaji vijana wengi wenye taaluma mbalimbali ya ufundi na teknolojia. We need masons, we need plumbers, we need carpenters, we need electricians and many other skills that are required ili tuweze kusukuma transformation ya Kenya kupitia mpango wa Big Four. Na ndio sababu serikali ya Kenya tumetoa pesa ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila kijana ambaye amemaliza form 4 sasa anaweza kwenda kusomea ufundi na teknolojia. Na mimi nataka niwaeleze vijana wa hapa Kajiado North na Kajiado West wajue every young person ambaye ataenda kusomea ufundi na teknolojia tutakupatia kwanza basari 30,000 kila kijana. Tutakupatia loan 40,000 kila kijana. Ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba hakuna kijana anabaki nyuma kwa sababu mzazi wake hana uwezo. Tunataka kila kijana from every community and from every family, irrespective of their financial background, they must have the opportunity to be equipped with skills and competencies so that they can meaningfully participate in the transformation of Kenya through the Big Four plan.
Now, coming back to Nairobi County, Governor Mike Sonko lashed out at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in what the Nairobi governor terms now as the anti-graft body unfairly targeting him. Sonko addressed the media in what he termed as an exercise or an intervention to what he termed as an attempt to grab land in the South Sea area.
EACC waliandika hiyo summon jana. Sawa. While my minister already in Nairobi, tunapanga mambo ya budget, we want to do a supplementary budget. For now, we have the energy to concentrate on service delivery to the great people of Nairobi. And EACC pia, what I can say, you don't have a problem with them. Tumekosania a similar issue like this one. A public property, a public utility, an ECD center, a playground belonging to the people of South Sea. I'm sure the people of South Sea are watching. There is no way the EACC can enter consent in court, in a court of law, to allow a land grabber do a mole on a private, on a public property. That is illegal and we will not allow it to happen. So, shida tunakusania na wao. And I want to tell them, kwanza wakuwe na heshima, because I saw last time niliwaheshimu nikaenda kwa summons yao. Wakaniharas, wakanisearch, wakanitoa viatu, wakanipiga search nikakubali. But juzi hata waliona sasa heshima, tukiongeza heshima zaidi hatutaenda vizuri. My problem was director of investigation, who is a partner to the person who is grabbing the mole in South Sea. Tumeonyesha evidence that we have genuine complaints against the EACC. We are ready to be investigated. We are not above the law. We are supporting the war against corruption. We are supporting Kenyans in this war. We are supporting the President of the Republic of Kenya in this war. Because corruption, it is more serious than cancer and HIV. We must fight it. But we should fight genuine corruption cases, not witch hunt, not intimidation. There is no way one governor can be summoned over 5 times in a span of 1.5 months. Another summon yesterday for my ministers. So my ministers are not going to honor that summons. They have to write to us again. And already we're in court, blocking them from doing witch hunt. Because this is witch hunt. Hiyo hatuwezi kubali hiyo ujinga. And I want to tell them next time when I come to the EACC, niliona juzi nimeingia hapo wananipiga search machine, wanaweka machine, wanafungua zip sehemu nyeti hata kama nimeweka kamera. Hata huyo Twalib anahitaji kupigwa makofi 7 kwa hiyo kipara yake. Ajue hii ni vita dhidi ya ufisadi. Yes.
Well, quite controversial there from the Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko. Let's see what transpires from that. He now says that his county will not respond to claims or to requests by the EACC and that they have to write again in regard to similar issues. Well, we move on now back to Kajiado County, where residents of the Muricho in Rongai, Kajiado County, held a protest in what they termed as the bad state of roads, accusing both the national and the county governments of neglecting their responsibility in regard to developing roads and infrastructure in the area.
Na shida hapa kubwa sana ni barabara. Hao watu hii ndio njia ambayo wanatumia kubeba mazao yao. Watoto wakienda shule wanatumia hii njia. Mizao zote zikipatikana kubeba sokoni ni hii barabara. Wanafunzi kwenda shule ni hii barabara. Na hata ng'ombe mingi imekufa upande huu. So tungeomba sana serikali isaidie wakaaji wa hapa. Waweze kupata barabara, waweze kupata stima, kwa sababu ukienda kwa serikali ya national government wengine wanasema hii ni ya national, wengine wanasema hii ni ya county. Sisi hatutaki kujua. Sisi tunataka tu kuona barabara imeundwa, iwe ni county ama national, bora watu wapate nini? Barabara. Hiyo ndio shida yetu, ni barabara. Hatutaki kujua kama ni county, national. Wakishapata barabara, stima, maji, huku hakuna serikali. Hakuna kila kitu pale. Na hiyo ndio shida kubwa ya wakaaji wa hapa. Hawajaona umuhimu ya serikali. Na hao ni wale walipigia Jubilee kura. Wanashindwa mbona waliamka kupiga kura. Hata wengi wao wameamua wapige kura tena. Kama hawawezi kusaidiwa na kufanyiwa kazi zao, heri kutopiga kura.
Ni kama tumesaulika, kwa sababu hata hakuna mahali ukiangalia barabara imepasuka, maji inapeleka na maji inatoka hata upande hii, matweko ni kubwa, maji inakuja na nguvu zaidi. Sasa kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali kwa niaba ya area hii, tafadhali tunaomba tu, kwa sababu hatujui nani ako in charge ya hii, sio MC, sio, hatujui ni wapi, lakini tunaomba tusaidiwe kulingana na hii barabara, kwa sababu hii ni ya muhimu. Mazao yetu tunapita hapa, tunapitisha maziwa yetu kupeleka kwa dairy, kwa mahali tunapima maziwa. Ng'ombe zetu zinapita hapa zikienda. Mkiangalia hii imekuwa matweko kubwa, gari imetengenezwa hapa chini kubwa sana. Hata wanafunzi, watoto wanapita, hii ndio main. Hata sisi tukienda soko Rongai, hapa ndio tunapita. Kwa hivyo tunataka usaidizi wa muhimu sana.
Now, the dairy industry, I beg your pardon, is one industry that does a lot of things in the society. Apart from just being a business venture, it is also one that is viewed as nutrition-conscious industry. Now, today we have prepared for you a special feature on one company in Mukurweini that works to actually make sure that the residents both get their daily livelihoods, but also at the same time ensure a healthy living for the residents of Mukurweini. Regardless of the many challenges that dairy farmers in Kenya face to supply the products, they are still expected to deliver quality to the processors at the end of the day. For discrete farmers, what they feed their animals determine the yield. This means feeding their animals with 70% forage and 30% concentrates to produce a total mixed ratio. However, the high cost of livestock feed can sometimes mount up to 70% of the total cost of milk production. Around the month of August 2019, milk quadrupled the purchasing price. To many dairy farmers, this was considered as exploitation, though it is also argued that there are other costs associated with milk business, among them transport, storage, processing, packaging, and distribution. The huge disparity between what processors pay farmers and what the retail consumers are charged is incomparable by any other food products processed locally. In September 2019, the Kenya Dairy Farmers Federation spoke on behalf of local dairy farmers who have been experiencing challenges in their market, and it asked the government to regulate importation of milk, especially from Uganda, saying it is hurting local farmers. In the same month of September, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri encouraged dairy farmers in the country to adopt modern milk production technology to increase production and receive value for their money through value addition and quick payment for their produce. Kiunjuri further stated that the government has pumped in 140 million Kenya shillings to construct additional milk coolers to the relief of dairy farmers who always count huge losses after processors cut the produce price due to increased supply. In an interview with Simon Wambugu Mushiri, the Special Project Supervisor at the Milk Procurement and Extension Department of the Mukurweini Wakulima Dairy Limited in Nyeri County, GBS TV established that the company, which started in the year 1990 November, was occasioned by the dire need to end the exploitation of farmers by middlemen in the region. Therefore, the farmers decided to come together and create something to build a market for themselves.
My name is Simon Wambugu Mushiri. I work in Mukurweini Wakulima Limited as a Special Project Supervisor in the Milk Procurement and Extension Department. Mukureni Wakulima Dairy Limited started in the year 1990 November. That is when Mukureni Wakulima started. And what brought about the inception of the company was the farmers were tired of the exploitation by middlemen in the region, in the area.
Wambugu explains how the farm started with 5 farmers who by then could only manage to raise 32 kg on the first day. Since then, the farm has grown to being able to process more than 40,000 liters every day.
5 farmers who on the first day delivered 32 kgs. And out of that, the company has grown in leaps and bounds, and we are now processing more than 40,000 liters in any given day.
Wambugu added that the company now aims to market all the milk that it produces in the process of extending their market in the near future from the local to the international market.
The aim is to make sure that we market all the milk that is produced by the farmers. We plan to extend our market in the near future from the traditional market that we have, that is Kenya, to other areas or other countries.
Wambugu told GBS that milk has been one of the main sources of income for the area residents, a trade embraced by all ages in the area. This, he says, has seen crime rates in the area reduce exponentially because since they started the farm, the area has witnessed increased job opportunities that the company is offering.
We can say that the company almost like runs the local economy here. So milk has remained to be one of the main economic mainstay of here. Since we started the processing wing of processing our own milk, we have seen a tremendous growth. We have also seen the rate of crime going down through direct or indirect means. People have been employed.
We also wanted to know some of the challenges that the dairy farm is facing.
It was reported, and actually it is still there. The prices have really gone down. So those are some of the challenges. The cost of farm inputs is high, and the cost of milk per liter is going down. So one, we can say there's the issue of farm inputs, they're expensive in comparison with what the farmers are getting paid. But we have really tried to mitigate the market forces, and we make sure that we give our farmers very competitive prices.
Wambugu also explained why their company is different from other companies and why they are still outstanding.
We can say without any fear of contradiction that the quality of our milk is the best. We ensure that all the milk that we collect from our farmers is safe for consumption. We make sure that we only get only the best quality milk comes in. So we strive in making sure that every passing day that we make our products better. We continuously plan on improving our products. Our vision is to be the leading company, the biggest leading dairy company, not only in Kenya, but East and Central Africa. It is achievable. We have what it takes. And I don't see anything coming in between us with our vision. And we can assure our customers that at any given time, the products that they'll be purchasing from us will always be premium products. They'll always have value for their money. And they'll come all to Mukureni Wakulima Limited. That is the home of high quality products, where there is value for your money.
The Mukureni Wakulima Dairy Farm is aiming to being the leading milk company globally and is assuring their customers that their products will always remain to be high quality. Well, quite interesting there. We now move on and cross borders over to South Sudan, where efforts to have women included in leadership roles in South Sudan have yielded fruits with the appointment of 2 women, one to head the Regional Ministry of Education and the other to take a seat at the traditional court.
A gathering of women in Rumbek, Lakes area in South Sudan, celebrated the appointment of 2 female leaders to key functions. They are thankful to the male-dominated local leadership of the area for making it possible by placing a dove, which is a universal symbol of peace, on the shoulder of the deputy governor in appreciation of the new appointments. In South Sudan, men have dominated the running of traditional courts and have made rulings in cases involving crimes against women like sexual assaults and other kinds of gender-based violence. Ayor Achor, the area's first ever female who will work within the traditional court, hopes to make a difference, especially in cases which have been driven by bias and stereotypes against women in the community. Separately, Ayen Majok has recently been sworn in as the first female state minister of education.
Not only am I a female minister, but also a young female minister. So my position means that I represent both the youth and women. So it means a lot to the women of Western Lake State and the girls, especially the young girls. It will encourage them to go to schools and study hard. So it is more like a role model.
A large percentage of women in South Sudan have traditionally been marginalized, with very few going to school, disadvantaging their prospects for being qualified to take on key appointments. At a side event organized as part of a workshop by the Gender Affairs section of the UNIMIS in South Sudan, the 2 women, together with others in the community, celebrated their newfound responsibilities. The country's year-old revitalized peace agreement, penned in Ethiopia in September 2018, allows for a 35% representation of women at various levels, and the appointment of these female leaders in key positions is an indication that women's participation is being recognized.
I think this particular workshop was looking at how women pre-position themselves for the 35% in the revitalized peace agreement. But the discussion is also that beyond the revitalized agreement, beyond the 36 months, what more are the women supposed to do? Because women needs do not stop within the 36 months. So the view is that how are the women, how is the state and everybody involved going to to help the women to really empower themselves, because the empowerment is the issue, is what is the education, what is the economic activities, and what are their, how are they positioned in a way that they can support each other to go to heights.
Wawira Doreen, GBS Morning Extra.
Now, still in South Sudan, the United Nations mission in South Sudan peacekeepers visited Mosul, an isolated community living in the Western Equatorial, to disseminate information about the revitalized peace agreement.
The UNIMIS peacekeepers in South Sudan visited an interior community living in extreme poverty in the backcountry of Western Equatorial in South Sudan, which have been isolated for years due to a terrible road network and the lack of radio or telephone communication. The extremely bad road conditions have resulted in a 24-hour journey for a patrol headed to Mosul from Yambio, nearly 120 kilometers away, but on a normal day, it should take about 8 hours. Roads along this route have not been repaired since the eruption of South Sudan's conflict in 2013. The constant use of these roads by humanitarian convoys and trucks by local traders ferrying goods for sale has further damaged it. Traveling this road by the peacekeeping patrol to get to Mosul is crucial, as it is part of an assessment mission that will report back on the road conditions while making their presence known amongst the communities.
We do this in order to make sure that we have a UN presence, show of UN presence throughout the region, and this gives some modicum of confidence to the people that there is a bright future for South Sudan with the peace that is ongoing.
With the convoy now in Mosul, the following interactions reveals the hardship of these far-flung communities. Teresa Andrea, a mother of 4 who is home cooking an evening meal, explains her hardships. Teresa hopes that there will be some relief from all the hardships that she and her family are experiencing. The assessment missions, such as this, will hopefully help communities in remote locations to benefit from information and possible road repairs.
The people here understand that the peace is theirs. It isn't about a process that's in Juba. It is about a process that is here in the state itself, in the villages, in the Payams, and that way you actually entrench it in the people's hearts and minds. And that is one of the key things, the elements that will help in ensuring that South Sudan has a durable and, most of all, an inclusive peace.
Wawira Doreen, GBS Morning Extra.
Now, still on international news, the World Health Organization, WHO, announced the start of a pilot program to pre-qualify human insulin to increase treatment for diabetes in low and middle income countries, expanding access for diabetics worldwide.
Announcing the initiative in Geneva on World Diabetes Day, the WHO 2-year pilot project unveiled on Wednesday involves the evaluation of insulin developed by manufacturers to ensure their quality, safety, efficiency, and affordability. The decision is part of a series of steps WHO will take to address the growing diabetes burden in all regions.
Over 400 million people that have diabetes in the world, and the burden has been rising rapidly in the last 30 years, particularly in low and middle income countries.
About 65 million people with type 2 diabetes need insulin, but only half of them are able to access it largely due to high prices. All people with type 1 diabetes need insulin to survive.
The problem with access to insulin, there are several problems. It is a complex protein molecule. It needs to be manufactured. It needs to be transported. It needs to be stored. And there is a price attached to it that is currently unaffordable to many people who need it.
From Dr. Roglic, people who have type 1 diabetes need insulin for survival. Without its daily injection, they will die. And many people with type 2 diabetes, it is estimated that about 60 million of those people will need insulin to prevent complications.
Pre-qualifying insulin is very important because we need additional supplies of quality assured insulin that can be accessed by people who can't afford it at the moment.
WHO pre-qualification of insulin is expected to boost access to increasing the flow of quality assured products on the international market, providing countries with greater choice and patients with lower prices.
One of the reasons why insulin is so expensive is because there's only a limited number of companies that are actually commercializing it, and they have control over the price setting. If we bring new entrants into the market, we hope to expand the competition, and this will have an impact on prices and will mean that more patients, particularly in low and middle income countries, have access to the insulin that they need to survive.
More than 420 million people live with diabetes. Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death and a major cause of costly and unbearable complications such as heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, blindness, and lower limb amputations. Plans are underway to update diabetes treatment guidelines, devise price reduction strategies, improve delivery systems to promote healthier diets and physical activity to lower people's risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Wawira Doreen, GBS Morning Extra.
Now, finally, on the international scene, the Tolstoy War and Peace novel chronicles the French invasion of Russia and the impact of the Napoleonic era on Tsarist society through the stories of 5 Russian aristocratic families. Doreen Wawira filed the following feature story for us, which is running up next.
War and Peace is a novel by a Russian author, Leo Tolstoy, which was published serially in its 1869 and was regarded as a central work of world literature as one of Tolstoy's finest literary achievements. Tolstoy War and Peace novel chronicles the French invasion of Russia and the impact of Napoleonic era on Tsarist society through the stories of 5 Russian aristocratic families. From Leo Tolstoy, he says that Tolstoy War and Peace is not a novel, even less is it a poem, and still less a historical chronicle, because in the later chapters, the book is more of philosophical discussion rather than narrative. It can be argued that no single English novel attains the universality of the Russian writer Leo Tolstoy War and Peace, because it is generally thought to be one of the greatest novels ever written, remarkable for its dramatic breadth and unity. For the first time, part of the original manuscript of Tolstoy's epic novel, War and Peace, was unveiled amid tight security in Geneva, where it is to take pride of place in an exhibition helping to mark 100 years of cooperation between nations. The Precious Cargo, which is widely regarded as one of the finest novels ever written on humankind's conflicting desires to fight and live together, arrived at the city's international airport from Moscow. The Russian VIP was then escorted in an armed convoy to Foundation Martin Bodmer, where one of the 3 exhibitions is taking place in Geneva to mark the centenary of multilateralism in the Swiss city. It is something that the author would likely have supported. Taking pride of place in the War and Peace exhibition, the Tolstoy passage covers the period just before the Battle of Borodino in September 1812 between Napoleon's troops and their Russian counterparts, believed to number around 250,000 in all. Although the fight caused tens of thousands of casualties and cleared the way for Napoleon to march on Tsar Alexander's Moscow, it proved to be an ultimately unsuccessful campaign for the French general, whose forces withdrew from Russia in October. Although more than 200 years separate the world of war and peace from our own, Tolstoy's preoccupation with the human condition and his support of pacifics remains relevant today to human rights experts and one of the driving forces behind the War and Peace exhibition. At the UN in Geneva, an exhibition on the evolution of 20th century international cooperation through the eyes of the League of Nations and the United Nations shows that while the jury is still out on exactly what multilateralism has meant in the past and what it means today, the international community can still make a collectively positive difference. Underlining the historic and symbolic value of seeing Tolstoy text in Switzerland, United Nations Geneva Director and Russian national Tatiana Volovaya described it as an absolutely fantastic experience. The link between Tolstoy's writings and a wider wish by some nations to tackle the enduring horror and constant threat of war is clear. Volovaya, in his words, explained the subtlety of the title of Tolstoy's work, noting that in the Russian, it referred not only to peace, it's the world, it's the humanity. So it's not only about antagonism between the war and peace, but also what makes humanity. Wawira Doreen, GBS Morning Extra.
Well, indeed, we do thank Wawira Doreen for that amazing feature. And such stories actually have been around for a long time, but it's quite a wonder that not many people, especially from our part of the world, who understand or who are aware of such amazing writing and literature work that has been filed by such writers like Tolstoy. Well, we do hope that as we continue, we will be bringing all this to your attention, and also will be making this a place where you would always want to come to get such important information. Well, today is a Monday, and I believe that you had a good weekend, but then the week has just begun. That means that we've got lots of work to do in this coming week. We do hope that God will give us also the grace to be able to achieve whatever we have set our face to do. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this morning. I thank you very much for joining us. My sign language interpreter, as always, Simon Wafula. And from me here, Timothy Omondi, do have yourself a lovely day, and may God bless you.